Hello, my name is Krita Ayers, and I'm going to be discussing my project with you. So for this, there was not a lot of research that I was able to find, I guess, going into my community, going into my area for ABA-related services. I've done some digging, but could not find a lot of research, so I'm going to be talking about how I would go about conducting and doing all this stuff, getting the feedback, doing the surveys, doing everything of that nature. But I did do a needs assessment, and I know in my community a lot of what is going on is there's just not a lot of awareness about ABA, how ABA can help, and how ABA can provide services to individuals with autism. And with that, there is a high demand. I know the clinic I work at, there's always somebody on the wait list that's needing services, that's ready to come in. And just having the limited accessibility is, again, since we're having a lot of people on the wait list, we just don't have a lot of accessibility in our community for services. So with that, again, we're going over just limited awareness, limited accessibility, and just a high demand for services. So first, whenever we're looking at the stakeholders that we need to find, we have to start looking at, are there already specialized services close by in the community? So we'll get in touch with, behavioral therapists, BCBAs that are close by, that already have that support, already have that relationship developed with families, and already have that insight that we need. So that will be our first stakeholder. We'll jump into local schools, especially schools that have special education departments. That way we can get an idea of who in the community is already going to these special education departments, and then we can extend our information to them to get some feedback, to get recommendations, to get access to individuals that are already in need. And then lastly, the third stakeholder would be the families that have already been affected and have used ABA services that are close by. Just having them as somebody that we can, have ideas and jump off of them with seeing how they use the ABA services and getting feedback from them to help us better improve our ABA service. And the funding. I know there was a few different funding sources that we could go through. I know a grant source would be the Behavioral Health Foundation. Now what they do is they will give out grants anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000. And it'll help us to get started where we need to be. And also what we can do is a GoFundMe, and just having that crowd-funded source after we get our information out there, and after we're having these workshops and educational fairs to help get our name out there, to help people know who we are, to help people understand what we're trying to do. That's going to help get us some more funding that way if we have that page set up. And then the Association of Behavioral Analysis International is also another place to go to. And now the funding application process. I chose to look at the Behavioral Health Foundation. First, we would start out with completing an application that is found on their website. And the deadlines for that, they only have two times a year that you can apply, and that's April 15th and October 15th. So you would have to get all the necessary documentation, which is completing the application that's on their website, making a detailed project proposal that aligns with their goals and objectives, getting resumes of all staff members that you're going to be using, all volunteers that you're going to be using, and then just collaboration with any other programs and partnerships with like the local school systems, and just getting their mission aligned with this foundation. And then lastly, just the application step is just to submit all those documentations before that deadline. And then the timeline, though, would be in the first 1 to 2 months that we would need to do our needs assessment and just get all the data that we have, give out surveys, get feedback for what we're needing to do, and then in the third month, we're going to be partnering. We're going to be looking at the local school systems. We're going to be seeing who we can get in touch with community providers. And then for the 4 to 5 months, we need to get our funding secured. So making sure that we've already submitted the applications, making sure that we have the GoFundMe going, making sure that we've partnered with who we need to partner with. And then 6 to 8 months, we need to already have our service delivery. We need to have it already prepared. Though that's the month that we're going to be getting everything finalized and prepared. And then the 8 to 10 months, we have to launch our service delivery. So just start our piloting of our program launching, just getting clients enrolled, just seeing what we need to do about that. And then lastly, 10 to 12 months, that's when we need to start evaluating, seeing how everything is going. We need to have a finalized report made, have everything that we need to see, okay, this is working, this is not working, what do we need to do? And then just with our monitoring and adjustments. So during this whole process, we need to make sure that we are getting feedback, doing those monthly check-ins, making sure that everything is going in the right direction, talking with our team, making sure that all of our staff members understand the mission, making sure that all of our partners understand the mission, and making sure that everybody is on the same page. And then we do need to have that feedback. Just giving out surveys, making sure that all of our the families that we're working with, all the participants that are in there, making sure that they're completing those surveys so we know what we need to work on, what we need to adjust. And then as things, if things get off track of our timeline, we need to make sure that we are making the adjustments that we need to stay flexible, so that we can make those adjustments as the timeline permits. But that's kind of the timeline for the project. But yes, thank you.